We're not on the screen. Whakatakateho ki te uru, whakatakateho ki te tonga, kia mā kina ki uta, ki mā taratara ki tai. Ehe aki ana, te atukura, he tiu, he huka, he hauhu, tihei mauri ora. Kia ora everyone, and once again apologies for the very long delay to everyone with the governing body taking a lot longer than we thought. Right, we have apologies from members. We have member Ashby, who'd given his apologies some time ago, and then same with Councillor Sayers. Then we have Councillor Bartley, Councillor Fully have had to leave, and member Henare unfortunately couldn't stay due to us delaying the committee. So apologies again to member Henare. We've got early departure from Councillor Filipina and Councillor Ferry. I think we should try and get as much done before then. And Councillor Dalton, Deputy Chair, has moved. Second. Deputy Mayor, second. All those in favour? Any opposed? No. Right. Right, we'll go straight to acknowledgements. Yes. Right, so we have 3 acknowledgements, and although extremely important, we will try and keep them as concise as possible for the people being acknowledged and for the rest of the committee and the staff who've been waiting. First up, we have Councillor Filipina, who has an acknowledgement he would like to bring to the table.
Tēnā koe te hea mana, and thank you very much to the committee just for a few seconds. I want to acknowledge and farewell a member that was crucial to the Parks, Arts, Community and Events Committee, and that's Isabel Gaylor. Isabel is leaving. She is going to go into a family business. So Isabel, if you want to come up, please. And look, I'll only take a few minutes, but Isabel was definitely part of the comms team for the PACE committee and now comms here. I just want to give you 3 highlights of the reports and news that you put out that has been crucial for Auckland Council. One of them is the land acquisition to grow the regional parks in Long Bay and Te Arai. The other one was working on Te Kete Rukuruku, the program for regional parks to receive Māori names and share history, and the launching the Tamaki Tauwhi Kaumātua, which is age-friendly Tamaki Makaurau action plan. Just on behalf of not only myself, but the previous PACE committee, Isabel, and also this particular committee, I just want to say thank you so much for your work. I've got some flowers that I will give to you, and just to say thank you on behalf of myself and the previous committee, but also this one. Kia ora. Thank you, Chair.
Kia ora. Thank you, Isabel. Thank you, Councillor. Next acknowledgement, sorry, is Matthew Blakey, our Chief Sustainability Officer. If you'd like to come to the table. I asked Matthew to come along today, and he messaged me this morning and accepted. And apologies, I did think it was going to be several hours ago, so I'm sure you would have preferred to probably be with your team all day on your second to last day. But I just thought it was important to acknowledge Matthew. He came to Council first as our Senior Sustainability and Resilience Advisor, then our Lead Climate Mitigation Advisor, then was Acting Chief of Sustainability, and then became our actual Chief Sustainability Officer for Auckland Council. And through Matthew's leadership and his team, we have ramped up climate like never before. Matthew was instrumental in Te Tarakia Tāwhiri. He did a lot of long nights and a lot of extreme amount of work during lockdowns and onlines and for the climate action targeted rate. That's $1 billion program across our city that Matthew has had a significant hand in. The $150 million of climate initiatives, Matthew helped lead much of that process too. I know that many of us have always enjoyed your calm, considered, evidence-based comment. You've come to the table every time with the focus on the future and a focus on what we're legally obliged to do, but what we are morally obliged to do. I know that outside this organisation there's a huge amount of respect for you, and across the staff team we're all very gutted that you're leaving us to what is a very exciting role outside of the council whānau, but I know it was with some regret you're going, but I know that the job you're going to is incredibly important to you and will be continuing this type of work. So personally just want to thank you. I know that the Mayor isn't back yet, but he was really gutted as well that that you're going. He really enjoyed your advice through the trip to the World Climate Expo and your discussions with him and giving him evidence on climate, what the rest of the world are doing, what we're doing, and he really enjoyed your company as well and was sad you're going. So just from all of us, I'd like to thank you, but I guess also, and I had checked with Matthew before, just if you wanted to give a few words of maybe your reflections and maybe your challenges to us in your role that was elevated, your role actually within the organisation while you were in it. So thank you, Matthew.
Kia ora, Chair, and thank you for your kind words. Tēnā koutou katoa. I will take the opportunity to share a few reflections and perhaps a challenge with you all. I did consider this before the meeting. So it's been a reflective week for me. It's been an honour and a privilege to lead the Chief Sustainability Office over the past 2 years. I will continue to work in climate change and sustainability in Tāmaki Makaurau and look to support Auckland's climate goals from a different place and a different perspective. Over the past 6 years that I've worked at Auckland Council, I've witnessed climate action become a strategic priority across the organisation. This is due to the work of many people and the commitment of many people and the political leadership that we've seen on climate action, and long may that continue. We've taken some significant steps forward. In 2019, there was a declaration of a climate emergency. We set regional climate goals. Te Tauraki Tāwhiri was developed to outline our strategic response to climate action with Mana Whenua, in partnership with Mana Whenua. The last LTP had the first climate action investment package successfully approved. We have developed with Auckland Transport the Transport Emissions Reduction Pathway, setting out a pathway to significantly reduce emissions by 2030, while also realising the benefits of a more equitable and healthier transport system. We developed the Climate Action Targeted Rate, the first ever targeted rate in New Zealand for climate action, set to generate $1 billion of additional investment in climate action over 10 years. The Climate Action Targeted Rate received 2/3 of support from those members of the public that engaged in the public consultation, and it was based on extensive research, modelling and a case study analysis to understand what the greatest opportunity to reduce transport emissions is using the levers we have. We've come a long way, but we have a long way to go. And to deliver the change that we need to deliver will require us to significantly increase both the pace and scale of climate action. In terms of a challenge, I know that the 10-year budget is front of mind for you all. The 10-year budget runs from 2024 to 2034. During that time frame, we have committed to reduce regional emissions by 50% by 2030. In order to achieve that, and that target reflects Auckland delivering its fair share of global emissions required to limit the warming effect of climate change to 1.5 degrees. In order to achieve that, climate action needs to be central to everything we do. It needs to be central to prioritisation, it needs to be central to decision making. And it needs to be carefully considered throughout all of the decision making that occurs from here on in. In addition to urgently reducing emissions, we need to plan for the impacts of climate change and inform all our decisions through this lens. We need to plan for the impacts of climate change to reduce our exposure to climate risk and ensure that we safeguard the future ahead of us. This is the immediate challenge and a significant opportunity to shape a better future. Thank you.
Kia ora, thank you very much, Matthew. Thank you for your challenge to us and as you said, the huge amount of work you've done. And from me personally, I've really enjoyed catching up with you and working towards many of those goals. And I know a lot of that work was done outside work hours, and you were taking a lot of time away from your family to really get those changes for the city as a whole. So once again, if anyone else wanted to say anything, otherwise I'm happy to just lead a round of applause for you. Not as grand as And last but not least, another member of staff is heading off, and Councillor Desi Simpson, Deputy Mayor, would like to lead off on an acknowledgement of you, Jim, if you'd like to come sit in your normal seat if you want to do that.
Jim, it is with some sadness that I speak about your leadership as our CEO at what is now your final council meeting today. You're probably going, yay. We only employ one person, and that's our chief executive. And so when you embarked on your journey with us just under 3 years ago, I know it probably seems like 30 years ago, you joined council at a time where we were responding to unprecedented challenges, most notably COVID-19 pandemic and its resulting significant community, economic, not to mention council impact. Indeed, dealing with a challenging environment has been the one constant, I think, in your time with council. Throughout your tenure, you've led with exceptional integrity. You've challenged the organisation to deliver better while focusing on our people who do deliver the hard mahi. Most notably, when you started, you commissioned and delivered on the Council Haura Review, which prioritised staff wellbeing so that they could continue to deliver well during exceptional times. This has created a strong health, safety and well-being culture where people feel included, and by creating an atmosphere for staff to express their views at all levels and feel confident in doing so. More visibly, this can be seen in the No Excuse for Abuse campaign, which has been very well received and continues and will absolutely be one of your legacies. I've heard examples of you observing a staff member under stress and quietly checking first with them, are you okay? Before worrying about the issue that needed to be dealt with. And that is a sign of a good leader. You've managed the Council's government reform program and implemented the review of our CCO organisations. More recently, you've had to deal with our storm response and the early parts of our recovery effort. That moved straight into our annual budget we have adopted today. But that was only one of the budgets, one of 3 budgets which you oversaw. The first, of course, was our 10-year recovery budget, which addressed a total revenue impact of COVID of over $750 million over 4 years, and still committed to capital investment of almost $32 billion. The annual budget, 22-23, was set in a context of a challenging economic environment, and which also included further investment in climate action, which we've heard Matthew talk about, funded by a special climate action targeted rate. And the budget adopted only just this morning, arguably even the most challenging. But through all of these budgets, I've appreciated the calm way you have approached often contentious issues in leading our staff team and providing advice to all of us as elected members. However, beyond all these achievements, Jim, you are a wonderful human being. Courageous, challenging, calm, very calm, somehow. I don't understand how you could be calm at times, and very honest. We are indebted to your leadership and wish you all the very best for your next journey. Now, I'd like to present you with a token of our appreciation, which I'm sure will take pride of place in your home, and invite councillors and staff to join with me in a waiata of thanks. This is, of course, I'm sure, what Jim will be very happy to take. Te aroha, te whakaporo, me te rangi mari e, tātou tātou e. Te aroha, te whakaporo,
And is there any last words you would like to make, Jim?
Deputy Mayor, thank you very much for your very kind words. I wasn't really anticipating that I would have to respond today to any particular formality, but I got a heads up a little while ago, so I have a few little notes that I'd like to share with your indulgence, which I appreciate. Thank you, Chair. You are absolutely right. It has been a challenging 3 years, arguably, possibly from a career point of view, the most challenging 3 years of my career. Continuous, small and large issues kind of arriving on my doorstep from the day that I came into the job. You know, it's a non-stop 24/7 environment. Obviously framed by COVID, the government reform agenda, some major events that we had planned and were delivering for Auckland, some performance challenges that we had, massive budget challenges, all of that in an environment where there is and continues to be a growing sense of distrust of government by the community. And so it was a challenging environment to come into. Added to that, you know, I guess I came to local government from a largely private sector background. And I think there were some people, including people in my team, who wondered if I would make it. There might have been days where I wondered that myself. It is a bit like entering a parallel universe. Things are different in local government. Decisions are made in a different way. The operating cadence is different. Logic doesn't always prevail. And compromise is always necessary. There were plenty of things that I had to learn quickly, and navigating local government politics was the biggest of them. I was surprised, frankly, as someone who wasn't part of local government, at the diversity and breadth of Auckland Council activity. We are, through virtue of the things that we do, the fabric that makes our place work. The roads, the transport, the parks, the water, community services, planning, and our responsibility for approving and facilitating growth and change, monitoring compliance with standards, responding to emergencies, and many, many, many more things that many people wouldn't even think about. You know, for me, it's been an absolute privilege to be in the position that I have been, leading the people in our organisation delivering those services. I'm personally proud that we've delivered on the commitments that we made to the budgets, each of them challenging, that we've provided solutions, that we've improved our capability, and under enormous pressure, our people across the organisation remain engaged in the purpose of their work. My direct team and their unwavering support for me and their challenge of me and the professionalism with which they carry out their job is something that I'll be forever grateful for. They and the people of the organisation are absolutely committed to Auckland and doing the things that matter for Auckland. They have enormous pride and passion. They always turn up, and sometimes, especially in circumstances where Aucklanders really need them. And to that extent, you know, my takeaway reflection about our people is that they are on the same side as you. They are here to help. They want to make Auckland a better place every single day, and that's why they come to work. I really appreciate their support. I really appreciate the support of the wider group across the council family, which I think we've done a good job to bring you know, more cohesiveness and more integration to. I wish the council every success going forward. I wish my successor, Phil, and whoever follows him, along with the senior leaders and the people of our organisation, every success. And I thank you for your very kind words. Thank you.
Kia ora. Thank you, Deputy Mayor, and thank you, Jim, for those words. And yeah, thank you for all you've done, Jim. And I will say that the issues did not stop. And the first issue that I ever brought to you, my concerns around staff well-being, and you did say you would work hard on it, and you've done that the whole entire. So the long list of things you've done, that was for me a really important one that you stuck to the whole time you've been here, and I hope. And I know Phil and whoever is next will continue that focus on staff well-being as well. So thank you. Right. Do we need to? We don't need to move those acknowledgements. So thank you, Isabel, Matthew, and Jim, for coming while we acknowledged you and all the work you've done. Right. We have no declarations of interest, I don't think. Are there any? No. We have the minutes for confirmation. Could I have a mover? Deputy Mayor Simpson, seconder. Councillor Baker. All those in favour? Are there any petitions? No. There was 2 requests for public forum. One was withdrawn, and unfortunately the second, Paula Browning, had to leave. She was here earlier. She will come to the next committee meeting. The local board input, there was none. Extraordinary items, there were none.